Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. It's back. Elite mode. Alah's, well, kind of dumb joke mod from earlier. You might remember it from the disgusting worm 5 cell difficulty mod done as a LARF where every enemy in the game is an elite. Oh boy, it's back, and this time on the workshop, and slightly improved too. Thanks, Alaah. I really needed this in my life. Yeah. So, as before, flashing lights warning, the lights are going to be flashing, like even more so than the usual Dead Cells playthrough because of the nature of elites. I do also forget to turn off bright lights immediately, so there's going to be a little bit of whiteout happening pretty much constantly. Additionally, yeah, way too difficult to do live commentary. This is post because you see what I have to work with right here? It would mostly just be grunts and annoyed moans. Just a lot of moaning if I tried to do that. So anyway, like I said, every enemy in here, elite. Even enemies that normally can't be elite. So they all get that extreme tankiness, extreme speed, a lot of damage, everything you love. Additionally, some things have been remixed a little bit, like mechanical spiders at the very start. That was just a great addition. Really happy about that one. Also, you get the Frost Archers from Corrupted Edition, if you might remember those guys. They're still terrible, and they still stun lock you real easy, so watch out for that. Whew, boy. But there also have been a few improvements here. Number one, you don't have to wait a good minute or so in between each area for it to load, which is nice already. You get a necklace at the start, so you don't have to fight tooth and nail just to get some much needed damage reduction right at the beginning. I don't think there's as many enemies. That might just be a case of not being on 5 cell difficulty anymore. Oh god, yeah. Real Dark Souls starts here, people. Especially getting that electrocute there to make sure that I activate every single elite that I go by. Oh, man. I'll just drink it all in, because this is the entire run. But yeah, I think that enemies might be a little less populous just because this isn't 5 cell mode. It's still taking place on 4 cell mode, which is, I think, the only difficulty you can do this on. Don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure that's how it works. Yeesh. Enemies attack you in the shop. They fixed that. But aside from that, other things about the mod, you get appropriately powerful equipment. I don't think you're getting anything below level 20 in this entire playthrough, and it just goes up from there. So even at the very beginning, you're getting 50% damage reduction from the first necklace you're picking up. Very, very much needed. Appropriately powerful equipment for appropriately powerful enemies, of course. You also get a flask refill here and there in between levels. It's similar to how it works in 1 cell mode or the old 2 cell mode, so you don't have to worry about being very stingy with your flask charges. This is made so that you can at least get a little bit of healing. And additionally, this is 4 cell mode, but there is no malaise because Alaah is a coward who's afraid of creating a truly difficult mod. I mean, look at how easy it's been for me. So, yeah, I'm kidding. I love you. Please don't be mad. Ooh, pyrotechnics, good stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much the long and short of it. It's absolutely terrible, but hey, I'm a glutton for punishment. I love doing this sort of thing. And frankly, I have actually been having a lot of fun with this. Over the past couple days, I've been playing this on and off, and since I'm finally doing a video on it, that means 1, I beat it. But 2, I'm also ready to spill all the juicy secrets so that you can beat this mod yourself. Oh, those Frost Archers, I hate those things so much. As long as they're near other enemies that can hit you, you can get knocked out of that frost pretty easily, but otherwise, they'll stun and lock you forever. It's just great. But yeah, ready to spill all those juicy secrets. So, number 1. Turn off the damn bright flashes in the menu. I mean, come on. You get a whiteout every single time anything happens. For example, one of the many affixes you have on your necklace creates a toxic cloud when you get hit, and you activate every single enemy around you. Or you have something that gives you electrocutes enemies, which then activates every enemy around you. Or enemies just fall off of a... Enemies are just way too packed together in a single area, and they fall off, hurt themselves, and then decide to take it out on you. And then you get huge bright flashes everywhere. You know, it's just a lot of reasons to turn that off. Let's just go with that. Number 2, and maybe the most important advice that I can possibly give you related to this mod. I mean, I don't really want to spill this incredible secret, because it makes the mod just totally trivial. Alright, lean in here, let me tell you. Get an ice bow. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Freezing enemies, having enemies frozen is just utterly amazing. It's absolutely as simple as that, and you have more than enough money in this mod. With things being this high of level and every single elite dropping something, you can easily re-roll in any shop to be able to get that. Additionally, you have so many affixes on the ice bow that you're going to probably keep things frozen for longer, get them bleeding afterwards, get that mass slowdown, which is very, very good because every single enemy is super fast and super tanky, and the ability to freeze them will, or at the very least slow them down, will really help you not get, say, chain bombed by bats. The number one way you're going to die in this mod. Seriously, dog. It's the number one way you're gonna die in this mod. Oh, man. But yeah, aside from, for real, just grab an ice bow. I wouldn't even say ice grenade because you can get such good skills aside from that. Yeah, it doesn't refill. I never tested that out, but again, more than enough money to have everything fully upgraded at all points in time. Going with the 4 times damage. It's a risky play, but hey, desperate times call for desperate measures. Alright, this was I actually had a surprisingly good run the first time I tried this, which is what you're seeing right now, and even with plays like this, I managed to kind of make it out okay, or at least get decently far, before I switch into the real winning run that you'll see. But anyway, other thing that I can say, I've had the most success with tactics builds. I think tactics are... You get the most damage out of that, and you get the best mix of skills, the cooldown reduction, all that sort of stuff. Oh, God. 4 times damage, everybody! It's so terrible. That's also really bad, too. Why did I not turn that off in the menu immediately? I should have remembered this from last time. But the fact that you have so many necklaces, you can usually get your health to astronomical levels, even if you're just taking pyrotechnics, even if you're just taking pyrotactics the entire time. And you also have huge amount of damage reduction too, so you're rarely going to have anything one-shotting you anyway, unless you take 4 times damage. Don't take that. See, even I gave it up almost immediately because it was that bad. Oof. Oof, oof, oof. The other type of run that I've had the most success with, that you've probably also already noticed with the Aura of Laceration here, is rally-based runs. You get the huge amount of damage reduction. The fact that you don't get one-shotted by everything means that you can rebuild up your health almost immediately if you have something like a Tornado, Death Orb, obviously Aura of Laceration here, and I think that I eventually go mostly with Aura of Laceration because when enemies are constantly coming to you, you know, just due to the nature of elites always teleporting to your general area. Arg! Oh no! Yeah. Gotta worry about those cooldowns, let me tell you. But look at how quickly I'm re-getting that health back up with the Aura of Laceration on. But yeah, elites come to you with just the nature of how they work. So, and additionally, the fact that you're getting stunned all the time, whether it's from the exploding bats or whether it's from enemies, you know, becoming active because of whatever reason, you will have a passive way to regain your health even as you're getting absolutely destroyed. Whew. Oh, and if you're wondering, the obvious number one strategy, the invisibility affix on necklaces, of which you get a lot of necklaces here, it's been removed. Yeah, real cute, Alaah. You blocked the number one strategy that I could have possibly used here, but hey, you didn't want it to be too easy. Why don't you just remove the ice bow then? I'm kidding. I love you. God. Yeah, really the most annoying thing about doing this mod, I mean, more than anything else, even with... it wouldn't even matter if all of these enemies were so insanely difficult and everything, if they just didn't have the insane knockback every single time that, you know, they become... Well, they go into second phase, but second phase is as soon as you hit them. So as soon as they get hit, you're getting thrown around like a cow in a tornado, essentially. And you can't act during that. You can't use any of your skills, you can't attack or anything, which is why something like the Aura of Laceration is so good. Or just turrets in general for that passive damage so that you don't need to be attacking. Yeah, bow and infinite arrows. Bow and infinite arrows as well as like duplex bow, you can get a pretty decent amount of damage off with that because you have such a huge amount of... affixes that can give you extra damage with that. I mean, as much as I like pyrotechnics, because, you know, I'm predictable. Hey. I would also recommend taking some kind of bow along, too. I mean, come on, you know me. Same old G. always going for that pyrotechnic build. It's a good item. And I think the Aura of Laceration right now is giving me inflammable oil on enemies, which pretty much doubles its damage, too. I mean, in general, I would definitely recommend some kind of area of effect damage for obvious reasons. Yes, finally. There, Jesus. Just in time, too. See me get killed by this. That damage reduction, it is pretty high. But yeah, I would definitely recommend some kind of area of effect damage here, whether it is an Aura of Laceration or, say, a flamethrower turret, because you can get quite a bit of fire on that, which goes through things like shield bearers and everything, too. I have tried to use a Hokuto's bow along with a flamethrower turret or the alchemic rifle, like you can see me using here. But I think the rally build is just way stronger because you know, enemies dying to bleed or whatever does not give you that rally. And of course, pyrotechnics, as good as it works with that, I would much rather have an ice bow along with that. Additionally, another thing that I've tried is ice bow along with pyrotechnics, which was okay, but I don't know. You can do better. Again, the rally build is just really good. You've already seen what I mean. It becomes even more apparent in part 2. I'm still annoyed that they fixed the enemies attack you in shops. I mean, yeah, it was a bug, but wouldn't that be so helpful here right now? I mean, ultimately, I think bigger than it, the biggest lesson to take away from this is that rally can overcome any lack of skill if you believe hard enough. Whatever, it's still one of the best game mechanics in years, and I'm still sticking to that. Oh, man. I do have the bleed, so it's not really the worst thing. But really, I would say that, you know, you might be thinking, hey, what if I just went all into survival and then just got legendaries? I mean, that would give you a ton of health, and legendaries are pretty common here. Well, the reason why I would say, you know, as tempting as that build seems, it's not actually the best, or at least it hasn't worked enough for me, is that you're gonna end up getting about half as many stats as if you just went for pure S rank items. And you're kind of also at the mercy of the RNG for what actually drops. I mean, there are a lot of items in this game. You can't really assume that you're going to get anything very good. And obviously, every single affix in the game is... having every single affix in the game almost appearing on every weapon you're almost guaranteed to get a plus 100% damage and 1% health healed or whatever, which is just really undoes a lot of work with what your damage reduction should be doing here. So melee weapons, I think, are just honestly kind of bad here. I mean, I would definitely still suggest using a legendary if you can get something good. You can mix and match builds like none other in this sort of mod here. It's things that would make no sense otherwise to take or to build for suddenly work a lot better in this mode. Oh, it's extreme circumstances, certainly. The other thing is that health doesn't actually help as much as you might think. I mean, hey, check this out! Yeah, I was pretty mad when that happened. Hey kids, remember to kill the trash mobs in the Hand of the King fight, otherwise it will happen to you. That was a really dumb move on my part. Whatever. I will say this for survival. One of the other builds that I've had that has worked a lot here is just going pure survival and getting 2 crushers. Crushers are great. They have huge area of effect. They have huge damage. They can take out an entire battalion of elites if you can goad them into stepping on them. And of course, survival scaling. So you do get quite a bit of damage, as little as it can sometimes help, as you've seen. Aside from that, go with that. That's the one time that I would say really go for a legendary for your main hand, because, you know, slow weapons, they got their issues. And an ice bow. I mean, because ice bow. Like, what do you want me to say? Ice bow is just good. Although I suppose comparatively, freezing does have really good synergy with crushers, because if you get that freezing affix on there, and they do a singular huge hit, you can get way more damage than you normally would with that affix on just about anything else. But yeah, survival weapons, even the really good ones like the bows, have issues here. They're just too slow. I mean, every enemy is extra fast as soon as it gets into the second phase, so that's something to watch out for. And you're going to be so mobbed with them that even if you do manage to get one enemy stunned, like you saw there with that, cannibal, you're also likely to be getting hit by, I don't know, like 50 other enemies at the same time. Man. If you were looking for anything specific, though, I would suggest, I don't know, duplex bow, infinite bow, and arrows are always really good. You get that range weapon, you can get those good affixes on there. It's some nice stuff. And obviously, it doesn't have the plus 100% damage that every single melee weapon you're going to be having. Every single melee weapon that's going to be dropping will almost assuredly have. Look at that ice bow go. It's some nice stuff. Also very effective if you do decide to use powerful weaponry here. I did try to get a symmetrical lance run working one of these times, but really what I was running into was the fact that a lot of shield bearers appear, especially in the first level, which is bad. Oh yeah, go for the curse chest? No, absolutely not. If there's ever a time to not go for cursed chests, it would be this. Cursed chests. Yep. You know, one of the survival builds that I was planning to do, but never actually got off the ground was, well, going for crushers again. But not using a main hand, but actually taking a shield instead. You know, just hunkering down, putting up the gigantic wall in front of me there, and letting enemies kind of kill themselves as they futilely do chip damage against my shield there. You get something like a blood shield or punishment, you can get quite a bit of damage out of that. So it could be worth it. Or maybe just take a frontline shield and make sure they do almost no damage. Of course, you already have pretty heavy damage reduction too, just from the nature of the items that you're getting. So it's kind of questionable. I don't know. Also, grenades can land behind you. Enemies can do shenanigans. Yeah, there's that knockback. Oh man, the knockback is just it's so ridiculous. I hate that damn knockback. It's just the perfect setup to get stun locked every single time, and you can't act. You can't do anything. You can probably notice anytime that I have kamikaze bat running up into my face that I am trying to use the skills and it just don't do. I mean, it's one of the reasons why the ice bow is so effective. It prevents elites from acting when you can't. Aura of Laceration really doing some good work here. Yeah. I mean, it's this sort of thing really isn't all that uncommon in video games. You see it all the time. I mean, this is just ice. It's a lot of swimming, wind in any sort of platformer. It's just taking away control from your dude. It's frustrating, and this time is absolutely no exception. Hey, Death Orb, nice. And hell, even like escort missions in games have that sort of adding in a second character that you can't really control. Taking away control is a big thing. That's what makes doing this so irritating compared to your usual run. I mean, it makes sense why it's in the game. You're trying to prepare the player for when the tough things are happening. It's the eye of the storm when you're fighting an elite. But when everything is an elite and it's constantly doing that, that's a problem. Doesn't work too well when it's like that. It's just a recipe for frustration when you're in this mode. Of course, this mode is also entirely not suggested by the developers, I would say. So what can I even say to that point? But still, if there was some way to mod that out or something, I would like that. Parries are not easy to get, but if you can get them, especially with something like a punishment, and you build in survival, like I am, it works. It works, certainly. Ooh, 100% damage? That's a lot of damage, but again, playing with anything that makes you take a lot more damage is playing with fire. Yeah, screw that marksman's bow. Clearly not working too well. Like I said, slow stuff just don't work in this. Or at least I can't get it to work. I'm sure somebody else can. Like Aro Frog had his episode up like 3 days ago. That dude's real good at this game. Aro Frog. Look him up on YouTube. I'm not getting paid for this. Wink. Man. Also, just a lot of... The other thing is that I did have to break out the secret forbidden technique, which is to say, going a bit slowly here to try to not die. And it just doesn't make for very good videos, and that's... Even though I know that it is the better way to play in some ways here. Yeah, I gave it an attempt, but nah. Still frustrating because I'm still taking that 2 times damage, but not too much I can do about that right now. A lot of testing out stuff. A lot of testing out stuff, a lot of going slowly, which is why I think having the post commentary here rather than just seeing me go, huh, okay. Okay, what if I did, no. The routes here are kind of locked in stone. I mean, the fact that I'm in the ramparts now, pretty much what I would suggest if you were going through this is sewers to the village. It's sewers, ramparts, village, and then just choose anything to the end. Why were they just screaming over and over? I'm not playing Bloodborne right now. Yep. But yeah, I would definitely recommend going sewers, ramparts, village, and then just choose something. Clock Tower and Sepulchre both have their problems. The Promenade has a But the big thing is that you're trying to avoid having as many bats exploding in your face as possible, which, like I said, #1 way you're gonna die in these runs. The promenade is not what I would suggest over the sewers because all of the trackers have been replaced with kunai masters, those, essentially trackers that are just constantly, endlessly throwing out kunai. They're like super inquisitors, so maybe not the best. A surprising good amount of usage out of the vampirism here, I'm noticing. And of course, that's why I took it. I knew there was going to be a whole bunch of the flying biters. But yeah, Promenade also has the underground sections, which are just pretty much jam-packed with the kamikaze bats at all points in time, which is just great. Oh, and they're pretty much death made manifested as a video game. So, yeah. You don't get to go to the ossuary then, but the ossuary crashed on me every single time I tried to enter it. So yeah, that was a no-go. You're going to the ramparts anyway, why not take the area that has at least a few less bats exploding in your face all the time? Yeesh. But the sepulcher... Oh yeah, and village, because, well, look at your alternatives. Yeah. But the sepulcher and clock tower are also just both terrible. The trackers are the only elite that will teleport to you, even if they're not in their super form. Even if they're not activated, as I've been kind of calling them. So pretty much anytime you enter a chunklet, a level chunklet with a lot of them in there, you're going to be fighting 20 of them at once. It's great. You just completely mobbed the second that any of them notices you. And the clock tower is also a very vertical-oriented level with a lot of traps in it, so that's annoying by itself, but that also means that enemies will be teleporting to you all the time. You don't have to deal with the bats in there, though, so yeah. On the other hand, Sepulcher actually becomes a little bit easier because every single time an elite dies, they spawn one of the permanent colonnades of light, so you don't really have to worry too much about darkness. At the same time, the bats. Oh, the bats. And you're going to be dealing with trackers in either of them. Oh, and also there are elite shockers in the Sepulcher. So, I don't know. You get that sweet time door. The horizontal orientation is a little bit better. I don't know. I guess I'd just say Sepulcher because, but they're both equally terrible. I don't know. Oh, man. So, anyway, the other thing is that this first run was, yeah, experimental. There was a lot of different things that I was trying out because I wasn't entirely sure what I wanted to do. So I was just going everywhere, doing everything, and trying to show up anybody in the future by taking a particularly difficult route, which is why I went for the sewer first without realizing that actually the promenade is the way more difficult one. Oh yeah, if you're wondering, and additionally, I did this. Yeah, stupid idea. Well, I don't know. Who knows? Maybe the graveyard was entirely bereft of enemies. No, there's no way that was gonna happen. Free plus 100% damage, which is why that's still a really nice item, but slow. Way too slow for this mode. Even though I tried to get to work, I don't know. Like I said, experimental. This is a lot of just trying to figure out what the best thing to do is. Vampirism is not the best option here, but I do think that the cooldown reduction and Dead Inside are both pretty good. Because you get a lot more bang for your buck out of any sort of health increase due to the huge amount of damage reduction you're going to have on the everything. That ain't bad. At the same time, is it worth it? Tactical phase is always the tougher one when you have a really good main hand, when you have a really good boss killer weapon like the lightning bolt anyway. Come on. At least you do get really, really a lot of damage over time options for this. And with every enemy teleporting to you, every enemy tends to also get hit by each one of those, you know, exploding gas clouds or spreading bleed or everything. Just everything. They get hit by everything. Yeah, maybe try to avoid... Nope. Try to avoid killing that so I don't have to deal with the super tentacles. Nah. Like Day of the Tentacle in here, man. Just can't get away from that. There you go. I still do think that the incomplete one is the one to take, because not only is he an easier fight overall, the graveyard is a really bad option to go to, and that makes sure that you go into the Sepulchre immediately after this. Additionally, your only other choice is go into the the Slumbering Sanctuary, which well, take a guess as to why maybe that's not the most ideal area. Cannibals. You know, cannibals, orb casters, which are obnoxious, golems, which are all going to be elite. You get the bats, you get the defenders. It's a horrible mix-up of stuff, even in good times, and now they're all elite. So great. Thankfully, bosses, well, with the exception of the hand, are not too bad comparatively, since you're so ridiculously overpowered. Yeah, that's what the Watcher looks like if you turn off flashing lights. It's super goofy. Also happened in last time I did this mod too. Yeah, I want to do the show-offy version. You go to town to Lincoln. And do the hardest route possible to show everybody how big your cojones are. Was it a mistake? Oh, it absolutely was a mistake. It was the most mistake. But whatever, try it out. Here you get the defenders, bats, shockers, but also you get the time door. That's cool. Time door that I can't get, but you know. I don't know. Well, if you were wondering what this looked like when everything was an elite, here you go. I mean, it's pretty much exactly what you would think. Terrible, but I don't know. Whatever. Again, I really don't think the Sepulchre is too bad in this mode, because the darkness is just totally gone. It doesn't matter at all at this point. Fire could be good. Yeah, damage over time with a Hooktoes bow build could be good. I just never got it to really work as well as as well as I wanted it to. I think Flamethrower Turret, or even like double Flamethrower Turret, or Toxic Cloud or something. And then just, what I actually did was I mapped both the an Ice Bow and the Hooktoes bow to one button so that I could get it, well, not firing off at the same time, but pretty close. Yep. Catchers! They're an issue. Pretty much anything that uses the gigantic fat guy. Come on, come on. I'm not gonna die here. Ooh, yeah. Still a good strategy. The teleport is limited on elites here. But yeah, it's not quite instantly hitting them with both the mark and everything, but it's pretty close. So that just lets you focus entirely 100% on doing your dodge moves, which is nice, but yeah. Yeah, there's that whole getting hurt will activate every single enemy in the tri-state area, so. I mean, good if you have poison synergy, but not too good otherwise. Well, at least you can see that rally build really doing me good here. Yeah, this is the one time where getting the rally mutation is kind of worth it? Kind of. I mean, letting it stay for twice as long really does let you get a lot more usage out of rally, at least. I don't know. Doesn't give you too much usage out of checkers, though. Hey. But yeah, fat characters. What I'm talking about specifically is the catchers here, which are obviously being a pain, what with everything. When those guys become very fast, they're much more of an issue than when they're not. Of course, that's true for just about every enemy, but yeah. Oh, no! Oh! And they give me the stupid YOLO thing because, yeah. Ugh. Cleavers are also really, really bad. The guys that throw the gigantic axes. Axe knights, pretty much. Because they do so way faster than you'd think. Anyway, this is the second run. And it's pretty much exactly what you think. I just did not record the beginning because I was dying so much that I just decided that if I was going to record anything, it would be... If I was going to record anything, it would be at a point where I actually made progress and wasn't going to die immediately. So that I wouldn't have, like, 5 3-hour-long raw videos on my hard drive here. One of the first things I did when I started doing the old YouTube thing, at least even semi-seriously, was buy a 4 terabyte hard drive. It's worth it. But that said, it's still not infinite amount of space. Oh, nice. Don't need that quite yet, because as you can see, I went hard into rally for this one. And it got to the point where pretty much I just decided, you know what? If I got the Aura of Laceration on, I'll just take the hit. I don't even care. Because as you can see, with 21 tactics, first off, that Aura of Laceration is hitting hard. With the pyrotechnics, because again, I am extremely predictable. Hey, come on, gotta wrap the Firebird quotient as well. Doesn't mean you're invincible though. Gotta wrap the Firebird quotient as much as the whole Cherry Blossoms thing. But yeah. As long as you have the Aura of Laceration on and doing a ton of damage, you're pretty much immune as long as you have enemies near you. You do need enemies to rally off of, after all. But hey, with the rally mutation, you can go from no health to full health even after taking something that you know takes off roughly half of your total health in a single hit. Still using the Ice Bow because, of course. Yeah, you can see me just spamming the Aura of Laceration there to try to get it to work. Was having none of it. Too bad. Oof. Frustrating, though. But yeah, another thing that's actually pretty useful for restoring a lot of health is anytime that you have a Vampirism or Tonic drop, the amount of affixes on there will almost guarantee that you... Yeah. Well, also takes out the bats, kind of, too. Will almost guarantee that you'll have that restores 35% of health on there, which is extremely appreciated, let's just go with. Makes it very easy to get full health if you have a... if you're going for powers and you have a skill shop anywhere around. Whatever. Don't even care. Yeah, after bungling the whole ridiculous rally run before, here's a true rally run that actually works. I'm a little proud of that, if nothing else. Nice, but nah, pyrotechnics, man. Obviously, I still do get inflammable oil on everything because of... Still do get inflammable oil everything because that's a pretty common affix, and you get so many affixes. Said that many a time now, but it bears repeating. Still Ice Bow because Ice Bow's just the best. What can I even say? Frost is ridiculously powerful. It's just a good move to take an Ice Bow. If you're building tactics, absolutely. If you're building anything else, you might be able to get away with not doing that, but... Again, even with the insane damage reduction on this mode and everything, it's sometimes not work good. Oh yeah, Infantry Bow is also another really good choice if you're just looking for some good primary damage. I mean, it scales with tactics, and it pretty much works like a... It's pretty much the bow version of a melee weapon. Because other than that, all you're using is what? The Scavenger sword, the Frantic sword. I just hate that you have to play this slow. I mean, it's good for you know, figuring out exactly how to zone out enemies in the most ideal way possible, but still. Come on. Yeah, thankfully, Pyrotechnics is more than enough to take out the Kamikaze bats. Even with the increased health they have, they still don't have that much health. So you can take them out pretty easily if given a chance. Oh well, at least that little alcove is perfect for the rally build. Didn't need it though. Even as quick as Ice Bow is, it's not instant, so you do have to plan out for that. But it is ranged, and that is a very important distinction to make. Tornado is actually a very good... Tornado is also a very good skill just in general for these sort of runs because you are able to get... Because you are able to then... You might not be able to get the damage... Nice. Surrounding you at all points in time, and, you know, preventing enemies from getting near you, but you do cancel out every single one of the projectiles thrown at you, and often with grenades, for example, turn them into your own projectiles, which if you're doing like parrying constantly, if you get a nice parry shield, if you get a nice parry shield and can get that to work for you, because there's usually so many objects flying at you at all points in time that you can almost constantly parry, the bombs that are being thrown out will do a lot of damage, and especially with the recent-ish change that makes it so that your parry resets upon hitting a projectile, you can just spam the parry button and have that actually work for you. Of course, having a tornado out is almost like spamming the parry button as it is, and it also works with rally too, which is, again, the major strategy that I think works in these runs. Eesh. It's hard to get set up, but once you do get it set up, well, you're still not out of the woods yet. Dead Cells is a game that can turn on a dime. I've always said that. I will always continue to say that. You are never safe. No place is safe. Oh, come on. But as long as you play it a little carefully, once you have a build like this, you can really make it work for you. I wouldn't really say that this becomes easy, but it definitely becomes easier than some of the runs that I've done. Yep, and here's where I decided to go for the Sepulcher. Why? Because, one, I can still make that sweet time door. Oh yeah, get all them stats. I mean, I got the damage reduction and everything to make it work. Oh yeah, this is when I stopped for a second because, God, what was I was listening to Fleetwood Mac? Why? I don't know. I felt like it. Shut up. Tusk is a great album. So I was resetting the resetting something on my phone. Hey, there were a lot of points where there were plenty of times where I got really far into runs and then just had them completely, you know, a single bad move has me die. I stopped taking the heart mutation a while ago because there were much more pertinent ones to take. So I was never convinced that anything was going to be the last run. I mean, I felt good about this one, but come on, I felt good about a lot of runs. But yeah, I like Fleetwood Mac. What are you going to do about it? Nothing. That's right. Yeah, if nothing else, you know, I know I said the doubled mod was good for grinding out cells. Look at what I'm working with right now. 1995. That's when some of you dudes were probably born. I think prior to this, my my record for cell count was 669. Nice. But now that's been completely blown out of the water to an insane degree. I mean, does that mean it's worth doing this mod to grind out cells? Oh god, no. Where do you even get that idea? Absolutely not. But if you do, you can get a lot of them. Oh boy. I have in the past tried using the what do you call it? Decoy, explosive lure. And that kind of worked. I mean, it kind of works. It does give you a little bit of invisibility. If you can't get the necklace for it, it's kind of the next best thing, kinda. Not really. But pretty much, the problem is that you have so many affixes all the time on everything that one of those will break your stealth almost instantly, which is not ideal in a lot of ways. Oh, I looked at Hokuto's bow and I was like, oh. That would be a good upgrade, though. 22 versus 21 and can be upgraded one more time. Yeah, that would be worth taking when I'm leaving the area, but not right now. Would also probably have to re-roll it a couple times, too, just to make sure that I didn't get a plus 100% damage affix on it. But yeah, let me tell you, if the decoy lure did work, it would at least get rid of the bats pretty well. I mean, that would be something. All right, get out of here, you. And ice bow to make sure that I don't die immediately. Uh-oh, uh-oh. There's that knockback. Oh, man. But even other than the explosive lure, something else that really takes out the bats pretty well is if I wasn't using an ice bow, I would probably be using a Rampart Shield. Because like I said, it's pretty easy to get parries when you're being attacked this constantly. And that little invincibility shield does last more than long enough to let a bunch of bats explode in your face without you taking any damage. I mean, I would say the same sort of thing for a tonic, but you only get one use of that per biome, so it's not really the most effective way to get an invincibility shield. I mean, I suppose there's also an affix that you can get on a lot of things that is what do you call it? Puts a shield on you when you use it. However, I wouldn't rely on that in any measure. Way too brief to be truly effective. But yeah, you can see once you have a safe area carved out, you just kite enemies into the... Well, kite enemies, they teleport to you. But get enemies to teleport to you, and that's an effective way. It's not the most exciting way to do it, but it does work. You can't say that it doesn't. Yeah, shield bearer is my favorite. Getting really up there. Yeah, even with the inability to take out, well, to use curse chests, you still can get quite a lot of stats here, especially if you decide to not take, well, if you decide to take necklaces that only work with a single stat. I mean, that's what I prioritized. Any necklace that whatever necklace that had the most tactics to it, and then the most survival, then secondary, or whatever the lowest stat was too. Ooh, an elite shrine. Yeah, real effective on this mode, let me tell you. Oh god, the cleaver though. That dude is effective here. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That's not good. Rally's at least working. The problem though is that as soon as the Aura of Laceration wears off... Invincibility shield. Who needs invincibility shields when you have that looked like that cleaver was going to hit me, but thankfully it wasn't. But yeah, who needs invincibility shields when you got rally shields? They work equally as effective. Hell, if anything, they're more effective. Alright, get out of here. But yeah, with the amount of With the amount of tactics I'm working with, even elites are going down to just a couple hits from the pyrotechnics. Oh yeah, this is another little thing. I suppose you could almost call it an Easter egg or something in the mod, where anytime Inquisitors appear in levels, for some reason there's just one level chunklet that has 20 of them. Because, I don't know, I guess Alaah decided that I wanted to recreate the thumbnail that I used for the last time I did this mod here. Come on. Yeah! Nailed it. Unfortunately, the knockback is really not doing me any favors. Oh, no! But yeah, there's a dumb joke. There's a, like I said, Easter egg to an extent, but also an unknown. Oh god, no, this is the worst, and I'm getting knocked into it. Or of laceration, do not fail me now. Come on. There's where that AoE freeze comes in. You can see there would also be a really good time for... Get out of here! You can see that there would also be a really good time for Crushers if I went that route. Unfortunately, that's all the flask charges, and although I do get more flask charges as soon as I get to the Timekeeper, that might be a second. Also, so many particle effects happening right now that some of the colonnades aren't even lighting up. Nice to see how the optimization works in this game. Get a little bit of insight on that. Okay. And freeze. Okay, no. Try that again. I mean, and by freeze, I mean kill immediately. But honestly, I probably should have just taken out the ice bow there and zapped those fools. 26. Not bad at all. Of course, there is more than enough time to get upgrades for the... Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, why'd I go into it instead of away? Uh-oh. 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 And... Oh. Hope I remember to edit out that cough. Oh, but here you can kind of see that this is pretty much the build that I'm going to be working with for the rest of the game. It's effective. I mean, you can't say that it's not effective. Did you see how well I managed to take out all those elite Inquisitors? And even the bats, as bad as that situation looked for a long time? Yeah. So many close calls, but at the same time, this is elite mode. It's to be expected. Getting to the point where I'm not even getting all that much usage out of picking scrolls in the Minotaur up. Of course, you always get a lot of usage out of it, again, because of the ridiculous amount of damage reduction that you have, but... if this game did go on much longer, it might have been worth it to, you know, just stop picking those up. I mean, I'm already kind of playing with fire by having nearly 30 tactics as it is. That's more than enough to kill anything that moves. Alright. God, I remember thinking here, it's like, if I died to a trap, that would be the worst thing. If nothing else, I just wanted to get to the point where I did not have to keep doing the mod for a video here. Instead, just do it casually if I wanted to do it again. Because, the fact that it crashes so often because, hey, it's weird modding tool shenanigans from what I understand. Yeah, that was... if there was anything that got me salty in doing these runs, it was that more than anything else. That and the knockback. Getting killed by bats. But I mean, that's to be expected. Having things outside of the game not working is the most frustrating thing. I can deal with a game being bad or annoying, but that's too far. Oh, should I go fight the dual tracker elite fight? Oh man, might be too difficult for me. Yeah, no. Not even bothering. Why do I need to? Why do I need to risk taking any more damage at this point unless it was absolutely necessary? I wonder if it would be possible to mod in enemies also spawning all of the little running zombie type minion things too. Because you notice that those are all absent from these from the elites that I've been fighting here. Yeah, with 30 tactics, I don't think this is... I've been fighting bosses this entire time. And I gotta say, a little disappointing though that Giant Killer still isn't in the game. That would be the... Oh, I got hit once there. I mean, didn't lose any health, but that still ruins my perfect fight. But yeah, if there was any item that would be absolutely ideal, like more than anything else for this run, it would be that. Well, I mean, ideal. Let's be honest, melee weapons maybe not the best in general here due to how much you gotta zone these guys out. If I'm using that word correctly, I'm not entirely sure. But, hey, it's good enough. It would be good enough. I would take it if it was possible. I guess it's more that the Giant Killer is just the thematically appropriate weapon to be using here, and I'm nothing if not a slave to lore and thematic appropriateness. Stupid king, look what you've done! Yeah, and this is where I decided, you know what? I'm gonna play this real safe. So I immediately got kicked by that catcher. Yep. Ice Bow still doing more work than I could have possibly... Well, I was going to say expected, but let's be honest. We all expected that. Knife Dance. Knife Dance could be good. I don't know. I feel like, again, you lose out on the rally potential, even though you do get really huge burst damage, and I'm so committed to doing rally in this run that I can't possibly justify taking that. Still, as far as stuff that has potential goes, that can do toxic as well, that can propagate bleed to other enemies, there's a lot of good things you can get out of that. Also kind of surprising, haven't seen any challenge rifts. This is about the time that I would do them. Get a few extra stats, if nothing else. I mean, I definitely know they're still in the mod. I've found them. I've found them in a few of the runs. Guardian Knights. Those dudes have ended a couple runs of mine, because if you're not running with a shield, they will murder you. So I try to be very... Like I said, I'm being a little more overly cautious than I would normally be here, but doubly so... When I get that rally back. Doubly so for the Guardian Knights, because... It's those guys in spinners that actually... Yeah, nice. It's those guys in spinners that actually do way, way more damage than you would think because of how often they can hit you. I mean, it's as if they saw what I was doing and they decided that, you know what the perfect counter is? The exact same thing as what he's doing. He's got a good build, right? Alright. Yep. Wouldn't be one of these videos without that happening, would it? Maybe should not have angered those two before leaving, just in case I... Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. Just in case I need to come back through here. Because the plan is to try to explore as little of the castle as possible, because... Yeah... Longer I'm in here, the more likely it is that I'm going to be dying, so... That's what you want to watch out for. Let me just grab the scroll here quick. Okay, now you can attack me. As usual... Oh, nice. Just need one more... Well... Thorny would be good, but again, the less I have to explore, the better. I feel pretty good about the amount of stats I have right now. And I don't really think I need to upgrade anything, so why not just see how it goes? I mean, they're just elites after all. They're not anything worse than what I've been fighting before, as much as I usually try to avoid fighting these guys. It's the hardest of the 3 mini-boss fights in the castle. And yeah, no, I'm not going for 3 keys. Are you kidding me? If I'm completely unwilling to... Okay, go around the other way. Come on. And let's not do the battle when I have a few of these guys on me. That would just be great. Come on. I know what you're going to do. Come on. Ooh. It's better than getting hit by the spin, though. No, I can get a heavy turret. Heavy turret is still really good. I mean, the fact that it does that small bit of stun time is extremely... And yeah, that wasn't bad at all. Yeah, the fact that it does that extremely little bit of stun time does help a lot against the various elites in here, but... I clearly have a build going, and that kind of screws it up. So it's worth it to not take that. Do I have over 1 billion gold right now? Yeah, I know I wanted to make sure that I was never wanting for gold, but that's a little excessive. Yeah, maybe just a little excessive. All right, all right. Now, this is the point in time where I would probably switch out the mutations, but I think this is pretty much what I'd want. And the number one thing is make sure that you kill the trash mobs before anything else happens, because, yeah. Yeah. Don't want to repeat there. Even though it wouldn't happen with the rally and everything, it's just... Also, I am not afraid at all of using... having the Hand of the King gain resistance to freeze right now, because I'm not planning to have him live long enough for that resistance to mean anything. Okay. And rally back up immediately. Didn't even lose any health there. It's a real effective build. Let's get the banner. Just get the banner. Whew, close there. And yeah, I waited there a second just because I wanted to have the Aura of Laceration back on. That said, I mean, look at how good this is, really. Yep, and whatever. There you go. Elite mode beaten. Oh, wasn't easy, but it is done.